Welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, where today we head down to New Orleans to play in our second straight bowl game, this time taking on unranked Akron. Though for the Cardinal, this is not the bowl they were hoping for. For the second time this season, the fourth quarter got away from the Cardinal, and they dropped the Pac-12 championship to the USC Trojans, and for the second time, knocked out of playoff contention. The same thing happened just 4 weeks prior. Once again, USC and Stanford ranked at the time, and the fourth quarter yet again got away from them. USC ripped away our playoff hopes twice. And Coach Bearington took that pretty personal. Talking to the media this week, asked about the lack of offense or the difference in the offense after firing the offensive coordinator last week. He stated, "It was all my fault. Took over the play calling, got away from the run game. The true identity of this offense, started passing too much, and we cost ourselves the game." And it would appear that the bowl selection crew also took things pretty personal. Ole Miss ranked 18, they take on Penn State in the Birmingham Bowl. Florida State, 13th ranked, Military Bowl against UConn. NC State at 25 takes on TCU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Oklahoma at 22 in the Liberty Bowl against East Carolina. Baylor, 19, takes on LSU in the Texas Bowl. 21 ranked Miami of Ohio takes on Troy in the Bahamas Bowl. 17 Colorado against Michigan State in the Independence Bowl, the same bowl game we played in last year. 16 Oregon against Mississippi State in the Gator Bowl. And lastly, Boise State 23 against Washington in the Arizona Bowl. Of all these teams, we were given the worst opponent and have to head all the way to New Orleans to play against the Zips. But we will give Akron their dues. After just winning 2 of their opening 7 games, coming off their midseason bye, they put together 5 straight wins and got themselves here to bowl season. They are led by redshirt freshman Jaden Gervasi, who had 2,300 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with a 57% complete. At running back, the senior in Charles Colum is their main guy here, who ran for about 850, 5 touchdowns. Does have a couple fumbles on the season. Receiving, they spread the ball out pretty evenly, but the other redshirt freshman in Rashad Tooney leads that group with about 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. Defensively, no one really stands out from the pack in anything that's not downfield, as Austin Wondolowski leads them with 4 interceptions. Kicking game is hit or miss, as redshirt freshman Bobby Irving has hit 85% with a long of 50. As for the Cardinal, they have a few guys looking to try to hit a couple different marks before the end of the season. But really, it all comes down to your Heisman winner in Tavarua Tafiti, who needs one more TFL to hit 35. And if he could pick up 4 more sacks, he will tie the season record at 24. But we will also show a little bit of some love to Donald Camp, who did win Best DB this season. But as the Cardinal look to finish this season off on a little bit of a positive note, we are underway here in the bowl game. All the way down in Caesars Superdome, returning is Akron to the 15. Coach Barrington and his defense will start out on the field, and it's that defense that really helped project this team to be a playoff caliber team, elevating the overall team who has struggled in recent seasons. Offense handing the ball off here to the right-hand side, and Frausto Ramos gets the tackle. He being one of the 9 seniors potentially playing their final game, this bowl game. With a 3rd and 3, bringing the blitz and throwing across the middle, ripped out by Richardson. It'll be a 3 and out for the Cardinal defense. So for the first time today, the offense will head on out with a lot of criticism of the play calling from Coach Barrington, who is still calling the plays in this bowl game. The OC has not been chosen. Starting at the 46, they hand the ball off to Parrish. Down the middle, he picks up 2. Both he and Irvin needing around 20 yards to hit their next milestone. Irvin checks in here and gets taken out by McCoy. Watch out, friendly fire. 3rd and 11 for the Cardinal as they come out 2 to the left-hand side. Haddad to the right-hand side. And they pass across the middle, finding Irvin, who shakes 1. Not going to get by the 2nd, but he does breathe life here to the Cardinal offense, providing a fresh set of downs in which they go Parrish. Down the middle, a good job from Big 97. Just shucked off the block, sat in the gap, limits the gain to 3. As they will look to pass the ball here under pressure and behind the DB. Once again, Cardinals sitting here with a 3rd and long. They need 7. Brown making changes. A little bit of a hard count, no one jumps. They hand this one off Parrish. Good blocking, he's got the first down as he looks to bounce it all the way. Dragged down with a gain of near 10. Risky move there from Coach Barrington, running it on 3rd and 7, but talking about getting back to the running game, he does so there. Pass across the middle goes to Bachmeier, the senior receiver. Both he and Borden need to put a lot on tape in this game if they want to squeak in to the NFL. As Irvin down the middle, he's another one of those guys. He's got good talent, but he hasn't quite played to the level of some other Stanford running backs. Takes the carry here with perfect blocking. Cardinal, they strike on their first drive of the New Orleans Bowl. Putting themselves up 7-0. Defense with a 3 and out. Good blocking on the edge. Irvin makes it 7-0. And we mean no disrespect to Akron, who played fantastic to get themselves to this point of the season. But that's a drive you expect to see out the gate, as they also go with a run. Limited gain, actually no gain. They're going to say loss of about half a yard as the Zips go hurry up here. Going to change up the look. They send 3 to the right-hand side, including that tight end to the right side of the line. Still making changes as the QB here, as they just go right back to the run. And juking out the corner, making him look silly. They make it a 3rd and 4. Trips to the left-hand side. They go back to the run, and it should have been stopped by Rico Cote in the middle. But it's Kalen Katula who makes the defense just look silly, a true freshman. He checks out of the game here, and a pass complete for the first down. Throwing with pressure in his face. Delivers a good ball. 1st and 10 here for the Zips as they go to Kellum, who's going to fumble the ball. It's still down, and it looks like a Cardinal player recovers. It's Williams, one of the rotational linebackers, giving the ball back to the Card. And they're going to give credit to the sophomore linebacker in Roseboom for forcing that fumble. Starting here at the 39, Cardinal offense spread empty as they look to capitalize here, play 1, or instead they check down. They got Haddad with the first. The offense has tried to go his way a little bit more the last few games, trying to get him ready perhaps to take over as wide receiver 1. Though similarly could be said for Ed Keenan, who doesn't gain anything there on the screen. He's projected to take over wide receiver 2 next year as 2 seniors leave, leaving a pretty young receiving group here. 3rd and 7 yet again here for the Cardinal. They go across the middle. They got the first down, going back to Haddad, taking him to the 15. It's been all pass here on this drive for the Cardinal, but now they come out with a tight single back set. Irvin, the running back, as he takes the carry, he's got grass to the outside, 1 to beat, slips him and dives in. A 2nd rushing touchdown for Cedric Irvin. And his final game here in a Cardinal uniform, he takes 2 stretches to the house. And just like that, Cardinal up 14-0 on the Akron Zips. They capitalize off the fumble of Kellum, who's in there to start the next drive, and quick stop comes Rico Cote. We've seen a lot of runs on 1st and 2nd down. They go right back to it. Kellum, patient running, stuck on his center. He picks up 4. That'll leave him needing 5 more here on 3rd. They go right back to it, and it picks up the first down. A gain of 7 sends us to the end of the quarter. 14-0. It's been all Cardinals so far. A couple plays here and there for Akron, but they can't stitch it together. Well, for Coach Barrington, it does look like some adjustments do need to be made on 1st and 2nd down, going after the running game, as that's where they go here. Morris off the edge, gets the tackle. Does go as a gain of 7 for Katula. Aaron Morris being another one of those seniors playing their final game. Looking to pass the ball here. Sticks concept denied. Pass rush Sony Fotu. And we've got ourselves another third down. 3rd and 10 for the Akron Zips as they go trips out to the right-hand side, leaving one to the left. And a sack comes in for Benedict Ume. That will be the end of the drive for the Akron Zips. But it was not a good job by the punt team. We start at the 35. Cardinal well in charge here as Borden goes in motion and stopped in the backfield. Quick block shed Eric Shepard. Or honestly, we might have just missed the block entirely. Loss of 3 with trips to the right-hand side. And under pressure, getting rid of it. Good news, we aren't in the ACC anymore, as that would have been an intentional grounding, despite the fact that the hit messed up the trajectory of it. A 3rd and long. Coming across the middle and finding it is Tiger Bachmeyer. Just picked it out of the air as Brown was under pressure. 1st and 10 at the 17. Another red zone trip here for the Cardinal as they look to go back to Bachmeyer at the corner and overthrown. Just a little bit off was Brown. They go back to the running game. Irvin down the middle. He'll pick up 4. But as time ticking down here, they snap the ball with 1 second. Wide open across the middle, and it's another touchdown. This time passing. They find the sophomore tight end in Buck. And the Cardinal continue to tear apart this Akron Zips team, both offensively and defensively, as they're now down 21-0. Starting at the 17. They go the run to the outside. Kellum, he's got some space. Biggest play for Akron so far. But really, it's nothing new. They've gone run on 1st and 2nd down pretty much every single time. Do they stick with that here? Motion from the tight end to the left-hand side. And they do go with it. Patient running again. We'll pick up 2. Kellum trying to make up for his earlier game fumble, which did lead to one of the touchdowns here for the Cardinal. Aaron Morris on the blitz. It's a loss of 3, and it's going to bring us to a 3rd and 11. With a spread look here, trips to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. Tafiti has yet to get a sack, the Heisman winner. See if he finds space around this time. Spinning the corner, sends him into Sony Fotu. 3rd sack on the night for the Cardinal. And this seems to be exactly why Coach Barrington was upset with us being listed to play against Akron in the bowl. Cardinal offense back on the field, up 21 points. They start with a stretch. Irvin down the middle, he picks up 4. Though for the 9 seniors here of the Cardinal, it might be a great way to go out on top. And rolling to the right-hand side, has got his receiver. Dropped by Borden. Ball arrived maybe a little bit behind, but that should have been a catch and run for the number 1 receiver here of the card. A 3rd and 6 as they go to Buck off of his hands as well. Right now, Akron defense, they've got to be happy. They've been able to have big plays happen for them despite not doing their job. 4th and 6, though the offense stays out. Though his right guard moves, it'll probably be a punt from here. So Akron picks up their first stop on defense thanks to 2 open drops and a penalty on the offensive line. 1st and 10, they throw the ball. RPO goes for a gain of 5. That's one of the few times tonight Akron has thrown on 1st down. Now 2nd and 5. They make a change. They don't like the original call here, so they're going to send to the right-hand side. Go with the run on 2nd down. Getting to the outside to Feedy. Drags him down. Gain of 4 for Kellum. We'll see if they go back to the run. Indeed they do. Cutting to the left. Trucking through 2 players. Finally drops Sony Fotu. Outside the fumble, Kellum has definitely been their number 1 player, though they go his way almost every play. And Richardson can't bring him down. The next 2 will. Combo tackle from Asher and Fotu. Leaves a 2nd and 7 as we approach the 2-minute warning. They go play action. And Fotu back for his 2nd sack on the night. Though actually, I might be forgetting one in there. That could be his 3rd. Leaving a 3rd and 16. It's the I form for the Zips as they're just going to hand this one off Kellum. And there's nowhere to go. Rico Coate meets him, and they will have to punt this ball away. Now, of course, this Cardinal offense coming out here following their last drive that didn't go anywhere. thanks to, again, just 2 drops and a penalty on the offensive line. Nothing that Akron did themselves as they get the little swing out to Bachmeier, turning down the sideline. He's out at the 19. 3 catches, 50 yards for Tiger. He had a really good bowl game last year as well. He goes to the slot left-hand side. See if they look to go his way. Safety help over the top and under pressure, dropped. Marcus Moore Jr. gets there for the Akron Zips, a 2nd and 18. Trips to the left-hand side, leaving Haddad lone to the right-hand side. Brown does make some changes out there as they might have Keenan dropped. That should have been 28-0. Cardinal receivers having a case of the butterfingers here of late, as it does look like yet again making a change out there. Still an empty set, though, for Brown. As the safeties drop deep, he looks downfield and hit as he throws. Ball comes up either off the mark or well short. It will be ETN coming out here to try to hit this field goal. Would still make it a 4-score game, and he sends it down the middle. Cardinal, they go up 24-0. That is where we head into halftime. A 24-0 thanks to that kick from ETN. It's been dominant here for the Cardinal. The only thing slowing them down has been their own mistakes. A few drops on offense, a penalty. Defense, they've played about as good as you could ask for, and they'll be on the bench to start this second half. At the 23, Cardinal offense coming out with a spread empty look already, trying to hit a big play to start. Or check down and drop. You gotta wonder if the Cardinal are gonna go after a former receivers coach to be their next offensive coordinator. As Parrish goes down the middle, makes it a 3rd and 1. And it doesn't take much film study to know exactly where the Cardinal are going. Wing T, Montrell Dog, he's got the first down. Not much in terms of normal carries for Dog coming in to play that fullback role for the Cardinal this year, but just a redshirt freshman. Irvin, though, he breaks it to the outside and does get another first down. He just loves his outside play. Extending this drive for the Cardinal as they get up to the 47. Brown making a pair of changes here. A tight shotgun look, and he's got play action to the outside. This time caught by Borden. Only his 2nd grab, but it's a total of 55 on those grabs. 2 to the left-hand side, Haddad to the right. As Cardinal looking to pass a little bit more here on this drive, rolling, trying to let things develop. Nothing does. Getting rid of it is Brown. I think the biggest knock to Brown's game has just been the inconsistency and forcing plays. He's got to learn to correct that as he moves on to his senior season. Short gain for Irvin. And the Cardinal are left with a 3rd and long. Bunch go to the right-hand side, Borden to the left. Brown with a rush. He's got a receiver downfield and squeezes it in. Haddad holds on. He got sandwiched at the point of the catch. And perhaps he's just trying to show his fellow Cardinal how to catch the ball. Goal to go at the 5. Irvin, he's looking for a 3rd touchdown today, but he's not going to find it there. Moore with yet another big play. That's going to be a loss of 4. Coming out in a tight single back set. Irvin scored on this play earlier, but again, loss of yards, another 2 to 3. The Zips defense perhaps learning the Cardinal play calling here. Bunch goes to the right-hand side. Looks like they will try to throw as they've got Haddad back in the end zone. It's overthrown. He was left wide open. ETN, though, he needs to see some playing time, so out for his 2nd field goal, and he makes that 2nd field goal. The Cardinal yet again leaves some opportunity on the field, but they go up 27-0. Starting at the 14, Akron. They go down the middle and finding space this time and picking up a good amount of yards, gain of near 16. Halen Katula showing why he probably will be the starting running back for the Zips next year, and a drop on the outside. Asher in coverage jars that one away, leaving 2nd and 10 with an empty set. 2 to the right, rest go to the left-hand side. They double team Tafiti, leaving time to find the dump off across the middle. And now no quarterback on the field to follow with a 3rd and 3. It's RPO spinning and finding a gap. Roseboom will drag him down with help of Ume. Charles Kellum with a big run there for the Zips. They get into plus side as they go RPO and caught, but a flag down in the backfield. Looks like this one is coming back as he was too far downfield. Big blow there from the Zips offense that has been moving this drive, creating a little bit of some momentum. They swing it out. Asher, good open field tackle. Gain of 1. It's definitely been a year of learning for him out at corner. Started the year, cornerback 1 was demoted to 2. After that, he's played pretty well. Down the middle, Kellum running through 2 to 3 defenders. If he had any more years of eligibility, you'd wonder if he'd transfer to a higher up school. 3rd and 9 here for the Zips. To the outside, and Ramos, just a split second too late. Needed to get there about a second early. Might have been able to knock that one free. 1st and 10 for the Zips. They go spread empty, and they drive it into their tight end, who's only going to pick up 1. He ended up having to come back to the ball, and he loses some of that forward progress. 2nd and 9. Nelson with pressure, though getting it to the outside. They find their tight end this time downfield inside the 15. As the 4th quarter arrives here, finally for the first time tonight, the Akron Zips have found their way inside the red zone. Down at the 14. Kellum, the running back, though they use him more as a distraction here. Quick throw to the outside, gain of 6. Well, the offense has struggled. Gervasi, he's 10 of 12 passing, so they've done well. They just, again, haven't stitched together many drives. Doing so here with 2nd and 4. As they get a little bit of motion, Kellum down the middle, cuts to the right, and stopped by Richardson. Cardinal, of course, trying to clog the middle as they come out with the 44 defense. 3rd and 3. They will look to pass, rolling, and tipped away. Roseboom and Richardson with blanket coverage, but 4th and 3, the offense stays out. Looking to throw the ball to the outside and getting the first down out at the 2. That is Davis, extending the drive here of the Zips with a 1st and goal. It's the I form, handing it off to Kellum, following the blocks and into the end zone. Akron got a hat on a hat, only had to break 1 tackle, and Kellum delivers. Akron narrowed their deficit 27-7. As the offense for the Cardinal can come on out, starting back at the 20. Bunch of the left-hand side. They hand this one off to 20, and he's going to lose 2. In total, Akron, they're playing a better game later on. They just didn't have anything earlier on as Parrish takes the RPO down the middle, rumbling, and nearly finding the first down instead. 3rd and inches, Montrell Dog. He's down the middle with a big gap, cuts to the left-hand side, and up to the 42. Next season, expect a lot of Dog and Parrish. Parrish probably taking over most of Irvin's role as he's in here down the middle and rumbling for another gain of 9. Though for the Cardinal, you kind of want to find a touchdown this drive. It's been a while since they found their way into the end zone. They take the jet sweep here. Irvin gets the block. Borden goes all the way outside the numbers before he can finally turn up. With that rush, much better for him compared to his last, where he was stopped for the loss of 3. Irvin down the middle will pick up 2. Cardinal definitely trying to milk the clock here late on. As we're inside 3.5 minutes, back to the fullback here for Dog, and he's going to lose 1. Looked like they tried to set up a toss play to him. It just never really developed. So 3rd and 9. Trips go to the left-hand side here, letting things develop across the middle. They go to Borden, and he's going to be shy of the line to gain. And as the 2-minute warning hits, you're already up by 20 points. The offense stays out on the field. Trying to get things set up. They got 2 to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. It's open down the middle, and that's where they go. Parrish slips 1, and he's got the first down. Cardinal just trying to end the season for both of these teams a little bit sooner, considering they just came off their worst offensive drive. Irvin down the middle, he'll pick up another 3. And I'm sure they wouldn't mind getting him 1 more touchdown on the season either to finish off his career. As they go his way here, tries to extend it to the left, maybe picks up 1. And for what should be the final play here of season 3, under center is Brown. As they go play action for Irvin, rolling to the right, they have Borden, and Borden scores 1 more touchdown in a Cardinal uniform. Whether this was his final game of his career or if he finds his way into the NFL, that story will be for next time. But as it stands for now, Cardinal get their first bowl win in many years in dominant fashion, 33-7 over Akron Zips, and the words of Coach Barrington definitely ring true now. They were not close to our level. We should have been given a better game. Unfortunately, we were not, but the team showed why. Dominant fashion, Akron Zips had one good offensive drive, but outside of that, it was all Cardinal, and the only thing stopping the Cardinal out there were themselves. That needs to be cleaned up come next season, and that is exactly where we're headed. And overall, this is a season you've got to be very excited for and very happy with, especially if you've been a Cardinal fan for a while or if you're just here for this series. We have improved every year. We only had a couple losses this season, and those losses definitely could have been flipped if we just happened to fix a couple things. Do I think we should have made the playoffs? Probably. There were some teams that didn't have as good of records as us. They made it in, but that's because they probably played better than us for a longer period of time heading into this one. But overall, a really good year. Elijah Brown does finish throwing 25 touchdowns, so that was a good mark for him to hit. 200 yards underneath hitting 3,000, and again, we're not a passing team, so I'm honestly okay with that. What we need to clean up next season has to be the turnovers, and I'm not even going to drag him here for having 53% complete because his receivers dropped so many passes. That's got to be another thing we clean up. Now, Cedric Irvin had a really good game. He closes in close to 750 yards, finishes 11 yards shy, 8 touchdowns for him. If he had 2 more, he would have hit 10. Overall, I think that was a pretty good season for him, and maybe he'll find his way into the NFL. Practice squad, perhaps, but he averaged about 5.5 yards this year. So did Parrish. Both of these running backs are really good. Parrish will probably take over all of Cedric Irvin's rushing, and we're going to get Montreal Dog some more carries in a traditional fashion, not just those fullback dives that he was getting this year. Receiving, Borden and Bachmeier both exit. Both finished with 8 touchdowns. Again, pretty evenly spread. Borden did a little bit more with his carries. We need Buck to step up next year. He was one of the guys that was dropping consistently a lot of passes, and it does actually keep track of that. They only give him 11. I think it was probably more, but still, your top 3 targets all are around 10 drops. That is not good. So we've got to clean that up, and it's going to come down to Haddad and Ed Keenan most likely, unless we land someone in the transfer portal, which we'll talk about in a second. Defensively, a fantastic year. By far, one of the best defenses I've seen Stanford play with in probably about 10 years. Both of Richardson and Coate finished with 11 TFLs, though Richardson did have 6 more tackles. So the redshirt sophomore linebacker, and the other true sophomore linebacker, Enrico Coate, that could be a really good tandem for the next couple years. Tafiti finishes with 20 sacks, which leaves him 4 behind the season record. But still a fantastic year for him. And Sony Fotu, the redshirt freshman, 16.5. He's going to be the leader of this defense, as well as Rico Coate heading into the next season. Interception leader is Camp. Frausto Ramos moves on. He played very well for us. We're also going to be without our slot corner as well. But we have Asher, who did step up this year in the second half. He improved his play, and it might be him and maybe Max Scott. I mean, we got a couple guys, all going to depend on how guys grow in the offseason. A lot of deflections as well for Richardson, Aaron Morris in the slot. We did force a good handful of fumbles as well. Sumlin, Tafiti, and Ume each with 2 lead the group. We did have 2 blocks this year. Brandon Nicholson, who might be one of the guys to play on the outside next season, and Max Scott. Safeties, Benedict Ume got 1, but we had a whole lot more than 1 when it came to defensive touchdowns. Tafiti got 1 with a forced fumble from Ume. Maxwell Richardson, Frausto Ramos, Rico Coate, Donald Camp, and Trey Williams. And for Etienne, he had a much better sophomore campaign, hitting 19 of 22, a long of 51. And if you care about punting stats, Aiden Flintoff in his final season, he only averaged 34.1 yards a punt, though that's typically because we weren't having to punt that far. He did down 6 inside the 20, and only 1 more was for touchback. And as we head next into the offseason, The biggest thing to really talk about is the recruiting class, quite obviously. And as it stands right now, Alabama has jumped in front of us as they do have one more 5-star than we have. But we do have 5 more 4-stars than them. It's very close. We're at 258.85 to 258.61. So we might still finish with the top recruiting class, and that's going to come down to the transfer portal. As we only had, I believe, 9 seniors. Yeah, I've said that several times. 9 seniors, so only 9 people graduating for sure. We've already had a class of 26, so we're bringing in a lot of talent. We might have to finally let some guys go in this offseason. We'll just focus on transfer portal in this offseason and try to find a good offensive coordinator to hopefully get that group figured out. The Cardinal wrap up season 3 as bowl game champions, taking on Akron in the New Orleans Bowl, and we win 33-7. Dominant fashion, which is how you want to finish off a season. We just wish that we got the better bowl game, but we'll make sure we do that next time, and to make sure you see how the offseason goes and how the next season goes, hit that bell icon either down below in that bottom right corner, or hit the subscription button below the video, and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as we start a new franchise over on Madden 25 tomorrow. That series is going to be every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll see you there. We'll see you back here next time as we usher in what might be the best recruiting class in college football.